Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Shahbaz Gill to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Shahbaz Gill's words. The top news today starts from New York, where a new hero has emerged. His name is Zohran Mamdani, and he is set to become the first Muslim mayor of New York. This is a major development from America, something nobody could have imagined just a few years ago. Zohran Mamdani, who is 33 years old, came to America when he was 7. He was born in Uganda. Both of his parents are Indian Muslims. His mother, Mira Nair, is a filmmaker, and his father, Professor Moeed Mamdani, is an Indian Muslim professor at Columbia University. Interestingly, the person he has defeated to become New York's mayor is a seasoned politician, Andrew Cuomo. His father, Mario Cuomo, was also a former mayor and possibly even a governor. Andrew Cuomo has strong backing from big political figures like Bill Clinton and billionaires like Michael Bloomberg, who invested $30 million in his campaign. He was supported by the entire Indian lobby, the Israeli lobby, and other influential groups. Until just a few weeks ago, it was unthinkable that such a young Muslim immigrant in Trump's America, where Donald Trump is currently the president, could become the mayor of New York. For the Muslim community, the Indian, Pakistani, and overall immigrant community, this is a moment of great pride. Zohran will be the first Muslim, the first Asian, and the first millennial born after 1990 to become a mayor at such a young age. So congratulations from our side as well to Zohran and to the community that supported him in achieving this massive milestone. It really does open doors for future generations. President Trump is facing a very tough situation in America. Media outlets like the New York Times, CNN, and even the BBC are reporting that US airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities did not destroy the core parts of the program. According to the preliminary assessment of the Defense Intelligence Agency, which has documents, not just media speculation, the internal tunnels, entryways and ground-level structures of the Fordow nuclear facility suffered damage, but the underground enrichment infrastructure, which is protected by 8-meter-thick concrete and steel, remains largely intact. The Pentagon claimed that their 3,000-pound bunker buster bombs completely destroyed Iran's nuclear capabilities and that debris had spread across the mountain areas. However, experts now say that Iran had already moved its key uranium stockpile, around 60% enriched uranium, before the strikes, limiting the damage. These reports from CNN, BBC and the New York Times indicate that the damage was not as extensive as claimed. Now, President Trump's White House press secretary, Caroline Saba, said that the intelligence reports about limited damage are completely false and part of a conspiracy to discredit Trump and the US military. She also admitted that the leaked intelligence documents, which were marked top secret, were leaked by a low-level intelligence officer to CNN. So while they are acknowledging the authenticity of the report, they're also trying to downplay it by blaming a junior employee for the leak. But the fact remains, the information is legitimate. Remember, I had said before, based on my research, that the bombs would not reach deep inside Fordow. These bombs can penetrate up to 200 feet underground, but if there's concrete, even less. Fordow is said to be almost 100 meters inside a mountain, much stronger than concrete. So these 14 bombs, 2 on each of 7 aircraft, each weighing 3,000 pounds or about 1,500 kilograms, failed to reach Fordow. Now they themselves are admitting it. So, in trying to deny the media reports, the White House has ended up confirming that the leaked intelligence is real. Trump is now openly fighting back, saying, "Fake news." CNN, together with the failing New York Times, have teamed up in an attempt to deem one of the most successful military strikes in history. Trump is now saying this directly. He claims that CNN and the New York Times, both of which he says are failing, terrible, and disrespectful, have joined forces to portray his major success as a failure. He insists that Iran's nuclear sites were completely destroyed, and both CNN and the New York Times are being publicly shamed for spreading false news. But the public isn't buying it, because the public also knows that Trump's claims aren't accurate and the sites weren't completely destroyed. CNN and the New York Times actually have their own intelligence reports, as confirmed by Trump's own press secretary. Then an interesting story appeared in the Jerusalem Post. It reported that Trump raised his voice at Netanyahu when Israel violated the recent ceasefire. The Jerusalem Post says that when Trump spoke with Netanyahu, he shouted at him, saying, "Stop the attack." The Israeli Prime Minister reportedly said very little during the call, while Trump was scolding him harshly. The Post noted that Trump verbally berated him, so much so that the use of explicit language, including the F word, was mentioned. The paper claims Trump used that language directly at Israel or its Prime Minister. We can't repeat that explicit insult here, but it's clear Trump has openly cursed Israel. On one side, he's fighting the media, and on the other, he's cussing out Israel, indicating he is under immense pressure. We'll see what happens next. But yes, Trump has confronted both Netanyahu and Israel, even to the point of swearing at them. On the other hand, Zohran Mamdani, the incoming mayor of New York, has made a strong declaration. Mehdi Hassan, formerly of Al Jazeera and now on American television, asked him, "If Benjamin Netanyahu visits New York, will you go to welcome him?" Zohran responded, "No, I will not welcome him. We will arrest him." He added that even though the United States doesn't recognize the International Criminal Court, someone has to take the first step, and we will. He called Netanyahu a war criminal and said, "If he comes to New York, we will arrest him." This is a bold stance, and may God protect Zohran Mamdani after this. But yes, as mayor, he does hold power. While Netanyahu would likely have diplomatic immunity, a mayor can still disrupt his visit significantly. So this is a major escalation. On one side, Zohran is challenging Netanyahu, and on the other, President Trump is furious with Israel for violating the ceasefire by launching a severe attack on Iran. Trump was so angry that he ended up cursing out Israel. He then clarified his position, saying, "We do not want regime change in Iran. We only wanted to roll back their nuclear program. We have achieved that. Their nuclear program is now destroyed. We don't want war. We want peace, we want de-escalation, and we want to move forward." He added, "Iran has oil, it has resources, and it can recover quickly. Israel and Iran have a bright future if they give peace a chance, and I want them to give peace a chance." This is Trump's official stance, which on its face appears constructive and peaceful. However, the claim that Iran's nuclear program has been destroyed is not being accepted by either the New York Times or CNN. There is another side to this. While some are happy about the so-called success of the military operation, there's a flip side. This media, especially Western outlets, is often pro-Israel. If these outlets are not happy with the ceasefire and instead keep highlighting the operation's failures, one might question whether they too want the conflict to continue. So even the media's reports should be seen critically. Perhaps they are trying to prevent peace by undermining any progress and encouraging more attacks on Iran, by suggesting that nothing really happened. In Pakistan, Justice Shahbaz Gill and Justice Tariq Bajwa have cancelled bail in 8 cases related to Imran Khan. You may have already heard this. He was not named in the file. His name was added later. On May 9th, when the alleged events happened, Imran Khan was in jail. He later told the Supreme Court that he had no idea what was happening outside that day. The cases built against him, therefore, are based on events he wasn't involved in, since he was already in Rangers' custody inside the Islamabad High Court at the time. This means the case was built on false grounds. He later received bail, but was arrested in other cases. When bail was to be confirmed in this one, the government failed to present him in court, even though he was in their custody, so the court cancelled the bail. To challenge this, PTI, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, approached the Lahore High Court, where Justice Shahbaz Gill and Justice Tariq Bajwa heard the case and cancelled all bails. This shocked even journalists present in court. More than half of the prosecution lawyers didn't even argue the case, and their side was extremely weak. In fact, when remand was sought earlier in this case, this very court had torn the case apart. In similar cases, Ijaz Chaudhry has already received bail from the Supreme Court, and when the Supreme Court grants bail, lower courts typically follow the precedent. But since, as everyone knows, the King's will dominates all institutions in Pakistan right now, it appears that the government will do anything to keep Imran Khan in jail. The recent Khyber Pakhtunkhwa budget, passed without his approval, is evidence of that. India has done something else controversial. Following the Pahalgam attack, they have decided to terminate the Ganga Water Treaty with Bangladesh. Previously, India unilaterally suspended the Indus Waters Treaty with Pakistan. Now they are targeting Bangladesh by cancelling the Ganga Treaty, which was due to expire in 2026, but they have terminated it early. This means Bangladesh's share of the Ganges water will now be cut off and diverted through canals for India's internal use. So India is now engaged in water terrorism against both Pakistan and Bangladesh. Narendra Modi is clearly not backing away from the RSS ideology, and he continues to attack neighbouring countries. That wraps up our translation of Shahbaz Gill's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.